Good day, bonjour. Thank you for joining us. This is Power Thought. Today, my guest, my beautiful empress, is Romainlee. And please tell the guests and the audience about yourself.
Yes, hi. So I'm Romainlee, and I am from Harlem. I am a mom, a friend, a daughter, a sister, all good things. And yeah, I just decided to come on this podcast today to vibe out with my girl,
That's right.
Zena. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. We are vibing. So today we're gonna have just open conversation, unscripted, right? So we just gonna flow with it. Like I said, everybody that I have here is people that I highly honor. This beautiful empress, like I said, not only is she from Harlem, but I will directly say she was heaven sent because our connection was just a vibe. I'm not gonna run through that, but she is a fire element. And today we just gonna discuss different elements as far as I believe that God create, fire, earth, wind, and water. And us as beings, whether you're a Leo, Capricorn, Aries, you're part of that element. And as far as her, like I said, I'm appreciative of her because of her spirit. Of course, like I said, she's a lioness, Leo. So we're gonna touch base on, how we interact with each other, meaning just us as human being and how we can evolve, how we can support one another as far as sisterhood, friendship, and you know what I'm saying, us being our best self as far as who God created us to be. So our conversation today, we're gonna start off with a little bit. Let's open the mic up. What do you think?
Yeah.
What's on your mind, sis? Spill. What's on your mind?
Ooh,
What's
I
on
don't
your
know.
mind?
I
What's
mean,
in your
it's
great?
on my mind. I'm always thinking love. I'm always thinking about love, and that's that's the love. It's the highest frequency. It's everything is love with me. To love and to be loved. So love is very important to me.
That's it. Love, love,
Yes.
right? Love is it's a good topic because love, it can be defined in many different
Mm.
ways depending on who it is.
There are different types of love. You
Right.
put me onto that, right? The
Ah,
types of love.
listen, we share that.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
have agape love, we have unconditional love. So let's touch base on that because what we post on the Power Thought channel was what is it? A lot of people say, "Yeah, I love you for free," but what does that really mean? Because love, the agape love, like I said, we have different type of love. Of course,
Yes.
we have the love that we have for our children, the love that we have for our parents, the love that we have for people that we date, which is a romantic type of love. So how do we break down these loves or these different type of love, and then you know what I'm saying, and just be at one with self.
Whew.
Whoa.
It's tough. I mean, I'm thinking relationship love.
Okay, let's touch base on that.
Yes, let's talk about that one. Um, that's an interesting kind of love because
Very,
a lot
very
of times
interesting.
in relationships, I you have a way that you want to be loved, but you're not necessarily loved in that way. So that one is a little confusing in the aspect of your own particular love language. And what can you say about that? Like, what do you think about love languages?
The love
And
languages, right?
because we have expectations, it's like, okay, well, this is what I need. This is how I need to be loved. But then if the person you're with, they aren't loving you the way that you need to be loved, if they aren't capable of loving you in that way, or like, that's the most difficult one to me. That's why I
Okay.
chose that one. That one is pretty
Right.
difficult.
It is very, very tough.
Yes.
So what love for me, not even me, just generally speaking, we have to define what it is. We're not with relationships, right? We have two different individuals that are trying to become one. So the reality of the matter is you have to understand that you are, you know what I'm saying? You have your own reality. And one thing that you said in the comment was, he might not be capable of loving me the way that I want to be loved.
Right.
And usually, what I tell people is the union, there's nothing is accidental. Everything happens for a reason. With love, it doesn't matter what you could be a Gemini. It doesn't matter what your sign is. What I go by is elements. That's something that God create. We have earth, we have fire, we have wind, which is air, and we have water. You being a Leo,
Yeah.
which is the lioness, it's a fire.
Yeah.
So your definition of love will come up from how you was raised. You know what I'm saying? What you see love as.
Yeah.
And that person has to basically blend with what your definition of love is. So that's why they have their own definition of love. You have your own definition of love. God put y'all together for you to learn something.
Yes.
So in that learning process, you have to be committed to, okay, it's not just what I want, because sometimes our ego be so selfish. It's just, okay, this is what I want. This is what, we tend to be so selfish where we just, okay, well, let me see from this person type of, from his or her perspective, which is usually challenging for individuals because as human beings, we are, you have to think about self.
Yes. Yes.
So how do we cope with that? How do we carry on as far as how can I get somebody to love me the way that I want to be loved? At this point in my life, I'm 45, right? So I'm 45, and I'm like, I love myself the way that I want to be loved. I am my own example. Everything starts with self. It starts with self. And like I said, my energy drawn to her because it was all about love. It was not, I don't have to. Usually when women come together, there is this, different tit-tac or different rubbish about, preconceived different things. But when I said the energy was, the frequency was definitely love. And there was nothing tinted on that. But love, and that's a friendship type of love, where it's just like sisterhood. I want to see her grow. I want to see her build. But like I said, in a relationship type of love, when you're trying to find somebody to match or to relate to or to love you the way that you feel like you want to be loved, is trying to find out from them, like, what is it that I need to do? Because sometimes it's the way you think about the situation too.
Okay.
Is the way you think about it as far as, okay, how do I get them, how do I, what do you think that the challenge is?
There's so many challenges. I think that perspective may be a big challenge because I was raised in a household where I had my mom and dad who were married. I had my sisters. It was just a typical happy family. Mom, dad, children. And so growing up, I said, okay, that was the standard for me. And I felt like that was the standard. That was what I wanted for myself. So when I began dating, it was like, okay, well, whoever I get with, it's like, we're going to get married, we're going to have our children, and it's going to be happily ever after. However,
Reality hits, right?
Yes, reality hits. And a lot of times, um, you attract something that is not of what you are of. And when I say that, it's like, you may connect with someone who was raised in a single parent household. They may have, their siblings may be from different parents. They may not have the same mom and dad, or, and I put my beliefs and what it is that I saw on my partner. And so I'm like, this is how it has to be. This is how it's supposed to be, because that was the example that I had. But I had a difficult time with that because, you can't really expect from someone what it is that you got or what you had growing up and what you've seen and your beliefs. You can't put your beliefs on someone else. And I feel like that's where the struggle comes in, because, and I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of doing that. I'm like, okay, well, this is how it's supposed to be, but in whose world?
Right.
Because we're two different worlds here. You know, there's your world and then there's my world. And I'm telling you that this is how it's supposed to be because this is my world. But I'm not really open to whatever it is that you feel is necessary in your world. And it's a struggle.
That's
I feel
where the
like my world
challenge
is
is.
perfect. You know, this is what I feel, even though it isn't. But it's a big challenge, you know.
Because we create our reality, so it is perfect. But the challenge there, like you saying, is two realities come in because his reality is his reality.
Yeah.
You can't change that. But your reality is also your reality, your upbringing. And this is where I say it's two different elements. Usually, and then this is on the law of attraction, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So even though you were looking for a specific type of, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
experience there, this is where the let go and let God take out, where it's just like, okay, I'm not really trying to control this because love is not something that you control.
Right.
You
Right.
control, you try, when you fear, that's when the control come in at. But love is not something that you're trying to control. So a lot of people say, okay, but in a relationship, so to speak, love has to be unconditional. Unconditional, that meaning, when I say unconditional, meaning, yes, you have to have standards as far as this is what I, as a human being, can tolerate, and this is what I cannot tolerate. And you are free to do that. But for you to be in union with another party, you have to accept them the same way that they accept you. That's where the conditions, meaning, okay, this is what you understand, but for whatever reason, you are in my present.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? God put us together for whatever reason, whatever it's butterflies, because we into butterflies. No, ask me why.
I
We into
know.
we are into butterflies. So I guess it's this transition, but you know, you were in my presence, or you were my path for a reason.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, I think for her, it's just okay. I'm here. I'm dealing, and the thing about her being a fire element, she's gonna rock. She it's she's gonna rock.
And
So it's just
roll.
like the fire is there. That's one thing about a fire, where it's this relationship, that loyalty is always there.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, but then again, you can't tame a fire. So it's just, so sometimes when you present yourself, it's as if, okay, you're trying to dictate, excuse me,
Yeah.
what. So it's hard for somebody that comes from, not so to speak, a survival mode, to appreciate, to look at things from somebody that comes from a loving home.
Yeah.
You come from two
Yeah.
parents. I didn't come from that. So my perspective of love is different. You know what I'm saying? So where it's just like, okay, I can accept this, but that's my comfort zone. Just because I accept it doesn't mean that it's okay in somebody else's world, you know, but it's, if you find your person, it's not that you are bending, but you just have to separate when your ego is talking and when it's just you, where your intuition is talking as well. Because a lot of people tell us what we should be, but you know what is meant for you to be.
Yeah.
So if this person continues to give you butterfly, ignore. And I say that to say ignore, because love is also, you commit. It's a commitment. You have to commit, like, regardless of, not regardless, because like I said, the regardless is, yeah, I have my own standard as a human being. I'm not, you know, there's certain things that you won't bend for, but your whole goal is, okay, what is it for me to learn with this person?
Yeah.
What is this experience here to teach me? You know, and if it's years, usually I say after 7 years, listen, think if you're in a relationship, right, that you feel like you're not getting what you need, it all depends on, like, basically how long you've been in a relationship as well, too. Because usually a person is your person, but every day is a new day. You're learning something new every day, regardless of how long you've been with a person. You are learning something new every day. I'm still, even self, you still learning new things about yourself. If you the growing type of person, because a lot of people is just like, I'm still the same. I
That's
don't know
right.
how that
No,
happens.
no.
Where, because change is you definitely have to change some way somehow.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's for the good, but um, usually, like I said, my advice or my word to, if you're in a situation where you feel that you're not getting something else that you need from your partner, you have to check yourself, because whatever it is that you feel like he's not giving you is something that you can get for yourself on self.
Okay.
Meaning, in a different type of way. You have to explain, same way, going back to your love language, right?
Yes.
Your love language changes. There's different things that are just you, depending on your attributes. Whereas it's like, okay, I appreciate flowers as a fire element. All fire elements love, because you have to blow a fire for it to lit. So they love that attention where you have to show me. So showing
Yeah.
is a part of that. This is why I
Yeah.
say, if you have to study the element, whether you a Leo or Aries or Sagittarius, which are the three fire elements, you love that attention. So your love language, you know what I'm saying? It's just, okay, yep, check upon me. Send me a couple of roses here and there. Could do whatever, not really do whatever, but the fact that you show me that you're thinking about me, you can get away with a certain it makes you get away with a little.
That's true.
You
I mean,
can,
attention.
right. So
That's
it's
what it
just,
boils down to, the attention.
you have to keep it
It's true.
flowing, attentive.
It's true.
Where if you don't keep it flowing, it's just like, okay, they don't. You get that,
That's right.
like, but it's not as if they don't care. It's
Right.
just sometimes my younger sister, shout out to Nadia, she's a Leo, where I study, where it's just, fire don't look for another fire. It just, you come into the room and you light up a room. Whereas it's like, okay, it's quiet, but once they get to know you, it's just like, okay, and that's, well, fire elements. It's like they catch your vibe.
That's right. That's right.
So just knowing you, and just, like I said, just knowing fire as an element itself. If you dating a fire element and you feel like, or they feel like they're not getting what they need, especially, I'm a water element. That's shout out to the Scorpios, the Cancers, and the Pisces. We are lit. Very, very emotional.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? We are very, very attentive as well, where, we know how to coax you. I don't know if that's an English word, but I mean, well, it's a British word, but meaning we know how to attend to you. But sometimes our attention is needed as well, where we are stuck in our ways. And the fire, yes. And shout out to Bless right there. That's my beloved. He's a Pisces. So we gonna dip into that. But a fire dating a water element, opposite attracts. So that opposite is gonna keep you, it's a challenge where you always want to know what's up, because a water cares. So they want to make sure you're okay and good. But sometimes for us, it's just like, oh my gosh, I have to give this so much attention. They should already know that I care already. So we have that repetition where I don't have to tell you, you should already know. And with the fire, it's just like, nah, you got to direct, tell me.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta show me. Forget tell me. You can tell me for a little while, but you have to show me it. Because actions and words.
Yeah.
And some people are all words, and no action. So the words will carry you over for a little bit, but you got to put some action behind those words for real. But I feel like at the end of the day, regardless of what your sign is, I feel like women in general, like, we just want to feel like, we're the only girl in the world for whoever we're with, and I think that, I don't know if that's has something to do with like the fire signs or water signs, but we just want to feel like we're it, like
You want to feel like you're the one.
like we're the center of your world,
Right.
and me in particular, I want to feel like that. But it's very important to me because I give 100%, like, and I start off at 100, and that may be that may not be a good thing. Some people, you build up. But I start off like, okay, let me give this person a shot, like a real shot.
That's it.
When you meet someone and you say, hey, listen, we're going to do this. All right, we're going to do it. I'm on 100 because I'm intentional about what it is that we're doing. But then you're going to bring me down to wherever you are, and I can't give you 100 if you're only giving
Me
50
20.
or,
Sometimes even
I'm going
20.
to bring it down to 50.
That's it.
And
Or not even deal with you at all.
yeah.
Because the energy has to match.
Has to
And at the end of the
match.
day, your words has to
Match.
be in alignment with your action.
right.
You can't tell me this and then turn out doing that.
Right.
Okay?
Right. There's no intention.
That's not it.
behind
Be
it.
intentional about
and-
what you do.
Right. And
If you love
everything is a
somebody,
choice.
that's
It's
it.
like we have choices. You make a choice to love a person. You make a choice to be there to show them what it is that they mean to you, and that's a choice. So
That's it.
you're making a
And
choice
your actions.
not to
Right.
as well.
People make time for what they want to do.
Exactly.
Regardless. You will make
Exactly.
time for what you want to
Yep.
do. So if you don't have time, it's because you didn't make it. Because we are in control of
Yeah.
our own schedule.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I do it, so I know it's possible,
That's
and
it.
that's my measuring stick. Whatever I do, however I am, I know it's possible. I've always had those people that are like, oh, all men are like this or all women are like that. Well, I know that that's not true because
No.
I'm an example. I'm an
It's not.
example. So I know that all women aren't like that.
That's right.
And I can't even listen to anyone who says all men
Generalize
are
us.
a certain way, because if I'm like this, then, there's a man who's
That's
the
it.
same.
That's it.
And yeah.
We are a reflection of what we say, and our reality is the one that we create.
Right.
So, as far as love, if you've been with somebody, it's a commitment. Communicate and try to find your person. And if it's your person, it's gonna be challenging. Nothing good comes easy.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing is you learning who you are through that challenge, and see whatever the experience will bring.
That's right.
Love.